evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the
Weekly WAYPN.
I'm Cal.
And I'm Sunny,
aka
Henry and Sangita.
So, today we're starting off with Lee Hobbins.
Yes, is he new?
No, Lee's been here for a while, but I think this might be one of his... it's either his first or his second one.
I feel this might be his first. I feel like I would have seen him
I'm sure
something.
that he's at least commented before. But let's go off. So Lee's trying to paint white, and he's struggling with it a bit, apparently. But what I think what he's done is fine, but what he needs to work on is just making sure that your lines are right and that sort of thing. When it comes to white, what Justin said here is 100%. You've got to start with greys.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the type of white you want. So, for example, let's say that you want a cream white. Mm-hmm. You're going to go through your sort of sand colours as your darkest.
Like Ushapti Bone.
Well, Ushapti Bone, I'd say, is more closer to the mid-tone for a cream white. Whereas, Xandri Dust would probably be your darkest. Ushapti Bone is like your mid-tone. Screaming Skull is your first highlight, and like a pure white is your second highlight.
Oh, sorry. I think that's White Skull that I'm thinking
No,
of.
White Skull is a very old paint.
Oh.
So, like, it's not really relevant.
Oh, okay. No. Because, when you said Screaming Skull, I thought you were talking about the pure white.
Yeah, the pure white is Screaming Skull in the new range.
Oh, okay.
Skull White is what Screaming Skull is now.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
I think it is Screaming Skull. Or it might be Games Workshop in their stupid names. But
I think if he is going for a white, and like you said, it depends on what tint of white that you're going for.
You either want a grey white or a cream white, right?
Yeah, you can have even a blue tone white, which looks brighter than a regular white because of the cool tone.
And that's what Justin's talking about.
Yeah. So I think he's achieved the white pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe in the picture it looks a bit flat, like it doesn't have enough shadow going on or what.
Yeah.
He could brighten the highest points with some white.
You know who he should check out?
You should check out Brushstrokes on how to paint white, because I followed his tutorial and it was so easy. I think it was just 3-minute video or something.
Yeah.
It's too easy to follow. I did it.
Brushstrokes Painting Guides.
Yeah.
Put that into Brushstrokes Painting Guides white, and you'll get it.
Yeah, on YouTube. And
he's one of our members. If you're still having trouble,
you can always tag him and he'll come around to help.
If we remember and we have enough brain power, because we've got a lot going on, maybe we'll even add that one
in the comments.
Alright, so then next up.
Ooh, it's Genuine Vision with a Troll.
Yes, and he actually wrote things up here, which means that he loves us.
He loves us. he loves us. Finally. Yes. Finally finished and got around to some photos of Boulder the Stone Troll from Moonstone. He was supposed to be quick and snappy paint job, but as always, especially with Moonstone, I took much longer than I should have with him. C'est la vie. I love him.
Yes, well, it shows because, you put a lot of effort into it.
Isn't it?
So, let's take a look.
This troll has slippers, honey.
Yeah, well, why not?
He's an uptown troll.
Uptown troll.
He's been living in a swampy world or something like that, I guess. Well.
So,
once again, we are stumped for words.
Well, see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find something somewhere where I can, I know it sounds sad in that I'm trying to find faults, but I'm trying to find something which I can pick up on, but, it's all within his style.
Okay. Here's a thing. I actually remember this model now. Last time he did a prime job on the back, and we were looking at the shadows on the back, and we thought it seemed a bit too dark at the moment.
Yeah,
and we were waiting for it to be finished and seeing how it turned out final. and sharing our comments on that.
So last time Stephen talked about these sorts of things, what he said is he tries to do what I do, but actually successfully, which is have the idea of an overall light. But I am trying more to have it from a specific source, but that's neither here nor there. That's my issues. But what he's trying to do is have it as if there's like a sort of general top-down light on him.
I believe that is true, yeah.
And so I think that's why he wants the harsher shadows, because it pops off the miniature more. I think it looks really good. There's not much that, if anything, that I could say about him. I think the only thing is, if these are meant to be crystal sort of thing, these things right here,
could have some reflections of the blue on his, I don't know.
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking, the, what is it called? The specular highlight, where it's that white dot on those. But like, there's not much I can actually say, because here's the thing. If I don't have useful commentary, I'm not going to give it, because...
it doesn't mean that, a person who doesn't receive any commentary is so perfect that they have done absolutely nothing wrong. It's just that we don't have the resource, the expertise of that level to see it for what it is at that level to properly give it the feedback it deserves.
Yeah.
And what about the bass? You're the bass guy. Maybe
I love the bass.
Yeah, I know the bass looks good.
I absolutely love the bass. When I look at the bass, that was one of the things that I absolutely loved about it. There's a lot of neutral tones in the body, and for me, the model isn't as exciting because it's not so poppy, it's not so colourful, but it's a very natural looking model. He's going for a specific look, and see, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's why I'm I can't actually say anything.
Well, there seems to be some markings on the stone or the boulder he's carrying. My question would be, is it supposed to just be a drawing, or if it's a magical rune that he's drawn? If it is magical, maybe he can try to draw some glowing effect on it.
Maybe, but
I'm just picking at things at this moment. So.
As far as I'm concerned, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it is the best that it can be. I think actually, here is one good teachable thing about this. For him to improve this, the amount of hours that he would have to put in to improve this would be exponential compared to the result he's going to get out. And that's one of the things that people have to remember when it comes to these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have
Paul Miller. Update on my painting desk. The Necromantic Blood Bowl team are having a hiatus as I need to get this project done for a friend. Bridge Bowl is a variant of Blood Bowl played across a bridge with islands that people can leap to. Showed my friend my original pitch over a lava-filled river, and he wanted one, but with a Norse theme. The original concept was just to recreate a lava bridge with water and icebergs. After some time, I thought, what if the old wooden bridge was still partially there? So I created some bridge sections and pylons. I'm by no means... a great diorama maker, but having so much fun making this. I do, however, need some ideas about making... But more importantly, painting icebergs. How do you paint realistic ice? That's a good question.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the original concept. Let's go through it. We'll take a look, and then we'll get back to him. So this is the original concept. Okay. Then we get off here.
So you just followed the same thing.
Yeah, but it seems like he decided to go a different route here by doing it that there's a bridge there, and then there's some original bits of bridge. Oh, okay, so he's bringing those bits of bridge in and that sort of thing. Okay.
So where's the iceberg meant to go?
So the icebergs are meant to go in where the water is. All
This
right.
looks cool. Looks really cool.
I've got that same drawing. All right. So what I think would be good is it depends on what you want to do with the ice, right? Now, there's a whole lot of things out there that you could do. Of course, you could just make, get some resin, put it in, for example, I've forgotten the people who do the rock casts. What are the people who do the rock casts? Do you remember? I've got the black rubber rock casts.
Oh, Green Stuff World.
No, not Green Stuff World. Woodland Scenics. Get a Woodland Scenics rubber mold, right? Get a 2-part epoxy resin, mix some blue in there, pour it in. Now remember, pour less than up to the brim because it will expand because of the heat, right? And pour it in, let it settle, and rather than painting it, don't bother painting it all. Have it as a full-on ice structure, right? Why do more work than you have to?
Yeah. But will that be a more expensive option as compared to maybe filling it up with, getting the mold and then filling it up with a gap filler or clay mix?
Well, he could do the exact same thing, get plaster of Paris and then just spray it like the, what's it called? Wraithbone, I think it's called. Or like spray it a neutral grey. Do a really, really aggressive overbrush of I'm trying to remember so it doesn't matter the brand, but an off-white blue, right? So it's got a bit of a blue tint to it, and then do a more casual dry brush of the actual white, and he could do it that way. But I think, like, the thing is that time is money, and when it comes down to it, you want to enjoy your hobby. You don't want to be wasting your time on these sorts of things if you don't have to. Like, if you get a great deal of joy out of it, go the other route, try something out, because I think this looks way better than those ones over there. I way prefer this, and I also like how you've got the little streams coming out from them, which gives a feeling of directionality.
Yeah.
I think that could be really good. An alternative is you could make a bit of a mold and then make the icebergs the squares.
What if he just took some of the foam that he already has and just, use a knife?
The texture won't be right.
Oh, okay.
That's why. But yeah, I think hopefully we've given enough feedback on this one.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Paul, you have found that helpful. Do you have anything else to add?
Well, I think a fairly cheaper alternative is you can just get modeling clay and some sort of mold that looks fairly similar to icebergs. Usually they're rock formations. I'm sure your local game store will carry something.
Or if he wants to do the cheapo version, he can just plaster of Paris a big rock and then peel that off. And then use that as the mold.
Yeah, well, that's another way as well. Because I'm thinking you just want something simple, easy way of getting it. Because like epoxy resin is great end result, but it can be a bit difficult to work with. Like you still gotta have isopropyl alcohol or like a fire burner to get rid of the bubbles on the surface, that sort of thing. And if you don't
I don't think that would be that much of a problem, because remember, with the Woodland Scenics, they'll be upside down, so those bubbles will be down near the bottom.
Well,
you know.
then you don't want any bubbles in general if you want it to be clean ice look. But yeah, anyhow, let's move on to the next one.
Which was, so we did very well with this one. Well, once we say Warhammer in a thing, we do really well. But it was really weird because we got 2,000 views and then it's like...
and then it flattened out.
And we're like, why you like this?
It just decided to stop growing. But yeah.
Alright, so...
Member Monday.
Yes, so we had a few comments on this. And essentially, we didn't get any new members, but that's okay. Now, we do still have the goal at the end of the year of having 300 members. And we're, still 25 members shy of our goal for June, July. But that's all right. The big thing is that we should appreciate our members here. Because like in this story where I talk about this shop owner who always used to give the prizes to the people who were the new people and never really rewarded their regulars. That practice built resentment. And the thing is that we really do appreciate you guys. So Lance said, thank you, Henry and crew.
Yes.
But you know
Henry and crew.
You're actually the administrator.
Am I?
Yeah, you are.
You are administrator too.
Yes, but you are the owner administrator.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nobody cares about that. Doesn't actually make a difference.
So Diramud said, I like this group for
various reasons.
Particularly the end of the week critiques. Always positive and helps me strive to paint more models better. And having a great bunch of people in the group is a bonus. 100%. I think the person who runs the group, they can set the direction, but without the community there,
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like it is you guys. It is Lance. It is you. It is Paul. It's all of you guys. It's Joseph and it's Peter and it's... I'm not going to go into all of the names, otherwise we're going to be here forever. But like the thing is, every single like, every single comment, that's what makes the community.
Yeah, you know, like those soups where they serve it in a hollowed out bread bowl.
Yes.
We are the bread bowl. Everyone else is the soup, and the soup is the one that everyone comes for. We're just a loaf of bread on the outside.
Yes, but it is a nice crusty bread.
Nice crusty bread.
That's why they like us, because we're old and crusty. But yeah, so Paul says, love the critiques. They help you push your painting further. There's
no criticism I see in other groups.
Yeah, and see, I think like one of the reasons I like to call it critique is because like criticism, even though he's 100... Oh, Jeebus.
Jeebus.
Even though he's 100% correct, I don't like to call it criticism because like it's got such a negative connotation at this point. Which,
to be fair, I think that's why he might not see as much of a good feedback session in other groups, because people hear the word critique/criticism and then they just want to stay away from it altogether. And because people get very easily offended when it's viewed from the lens of criticism rather than it's not what you think it is, it's just feedback.
Yeah, because we're trying to help everyone, and what I like is that the people who consistently put their stuff up, right? We've got a good group of people. We've got people of different skill levels, people showing their stuff up, and like the thing is, I like to think that we're fair. For example, when it came to Stephen here, like, when I couldn't really think of anything to actually, give critique on, I just said as much, and like when Paul was talking about this board here, you know, like he's not looking for critique, he's looking for help.
Yeah,
right?
ideas to go off of. Yeah.
And like that's what we do, because our role here is to help you guys.
Exactly.
Alright, so next up we have Dearmud.
You changed your name to Zoomy Models or something like that.
I think he's added like his sort of studio profile.
Okay, yeah, that's
Zoomy.
good. Was it Zuki or something like that?
Something like that, but I think we'll see later.
Yeah, finished these off for delivery yesterday. I still have about 10 more infantry to finish the whole project. Client is more than happy with the progress so far, as he said during our games day yesterday when he fielded them. I feel like I'm 9 years old all over again. The only part I'm not happy with is the griffin. The primer is leaking through the paint. Oh. So I've been told. Primed by the client. I couldn't get the feathers white even when I mixed white ink into the white paint. It would look great right up to the point where the paint dried. Aside from that it's all good. How does primer leak through a paint job?
Maybe it hasn't fully set or something. That's why I do like the alcohol primer, because like they're set almost instantly. But you know,
That's
we've had that problem with the.
Well, yeah.
Oh no! See, look here. Look at the very bottom of them, and you see. Oh wow.
Where?
See what see around there? That's what I think he's talking about.
I
But
don't
like
know.
it looks like a shade almost.
Yeah, that's why I thought like
But
what?
it does look very like sort of old Warhammer,
Oh,
you know,
it does.
very old hammer.
I think it's also because of that base.
Oh yeah, the
that
goblin green base.
The goblin square green base
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
no.
gravel grass look. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like that's why like I'm like, oh well, you could really highlight up these wings and that sort of thing, right? But the thing is, seeing that old, you know, school base and seeing the very sort of it's got a particular look and feel to it, and I'm just
I
like,
think it's very striking and it catches your eye.
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm saying, I feel like there could be some more highlights with the
Just a dry brush maybe.
yeah.
But I
just a-
feel that the color of the horn it doesn't make sense to me
is the same color as the mane and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I think that could be a different color.
because
Like
usually
a bone color.
yeah, bone color is usually what the unicorn horn is. So I don't
Well,
know.
I think a bone color would work well with the rest of this thing.
Or you could do the cheaters method, dear Mud, and get one of those color shifting pearlescent paints. You just repaint it all white. You can still put like a wash over it to bring back recesses, and you just do a spray of the pearlescent on top, and that just creates
Just cover up the rest.
Yeah.
Just like poke the horn through some baking tray
yeah,
paper.
and you just go psst, and then that'll make it mystical and magical, and that's it, done. Boom.
You know, that's not a bad idea. But you do need to fix up the base bit.
Just to make it more opaque.
Consistent,
Yeah. Opaque, less patchy. But yeah, ooh, look at this.
But I feel like he's very much going for like that specific. Yeah, because I think when I saw these guys, I'm like, oh, that needs a bit of a highlight. But I feel like this was the same thing when I saw the griffin, because you see how that white is so just like
It's just flat white. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's going for that sort of old hammer look where like nothing has that sort of texture to it. It's like if your cloaks are white, they're white, right?
What?
If your hair's green, it's green, right? It nothing sort of got that. Because if you take a look at some of the old school ones, but you definitely need to fix up those bases and add some sand. Like even just those like that needs just that extra bit.
Yeah,
more.
I guess I'm very used to seeing shaded work that I feel a bit sort of itchy and go like, I need something.
Yeah.
But then I can tell that, I mean, it definitely looks very retro and old school.
Yeah,
So I guess you've met your goal.
Well, See, what would be really good is if you told us what your client wanted.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've sort of been set up for a trap slightly here, in that if we say, you know, like, oh, it needs some shades and that sort of thing, and you're like, oh, they wanted the old hammer look, it'll be like, we thought with that.
We kind of wasted your time by giving you the wrong feedback in that sort of stuff. So
I think that would help.
Yeah, if you give us, like, just pop it down in the comments, tell us exactly what your client wants, and then we can give some proper...
In fact, I'm just going to write that now.
Don't worry, he's typing, it's jet lagging.
Maybe it's typing.
It's jet lagging itself.
Now you can see why our reviews.
It'll scroll up and then all the words will appear after a while.
Maybe.
I've seen it done before. See?
Oh, yeah.
See, I know the magic of the internet.
But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll move on.
Yeah, for now. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Oh, it was Talk Tuesday. So I'm going to go back down. Oh my god. I'm going to go insane. But let's move on to the Talk Tuesday and see what people said. Because a lot of people said a lot of things. Oh my god. Come on, computer.
Most useful household items you use at your painting desk.
Yes.
Well, we've got cotton buds.
Alright.
Toothpicks. We've got...
I think...
paper towel.
I think let's move on for now, because it looks like just us writing that has decided that, you know what?
She's gonna... Oh, okay, good. Don't use the Grammarly, honey. It decides to disrupt.
Okay. Well, it seems like anything is deciding to disrupt, so I think we're just gonna...
move on for a second. Yeah, so let's talk about Talk Tuesday.
Yes, because there were quite a few comments, and I think all of them were pretty good.
Oh yeah, toothbrush.
So... Lance was saying about how he adds some dish soap to his brush water, and I'm not as certain on that one, but I can see why he might do it, because like it'll help
clean the brushes as you go.
But see, I'm a brush licker, so every time I put it in, I'm going to be like. Actually, we talked to a store owner today about the
the brush licking, and then he's like, how did the pink taste? And then I forget his response.
He's like,
and then you said the yellow tastes the best, and he got super excited. And he's like, yeah, all the yellows taste really good. And I was like, what you guys?
Yeah.
You gotta stop this, you know? Like in my head. Brushstroke has a good video. He mentions about, he doesn't say brush care, but how he wicks his brush is that he will wear the glove.
Let's talk about the people who have commented. Let's talk about the people who have commented. You can. Alright. Why don't you talk about what they've said? What about this one?
Old brush that I cut the reel short, which makes them a bit stiff. I dip it in the brush water, wipe it a bit off the water, and use it to touch up paint that has gone astray. So,
like, if paint's gone somewhere he doesn't want it to go, he just uses that to fix it up and remove it.
Interesting. I had some old cloth diapers from when my kiddos were young. After wash and bleach, they are so handy for cleaning about anything. Super useful.
Yep. And what I've found is that, like, you take a look at what Angela says a bit later down and what Patrick says here. I think it's mostly about what you have in your house. Because I'm just going to skip down to Angela for a second, because she says clothing pins because of clogs with the dropper bottles. Right?
Yeah.
And then like I usually use either the airbrush needle or like an old airbrush needle, I should point out. And you see what some other people have said. They've said similar things, but different items. But yeah, let's move on. You want to read out
Zuki's models, cotton buds, Q-tips, great for removing errors and for cleaning the airbrush nozzle. Edit. If you plan on cleaning your airbrush nozzle, make sure you retract the needle.
Yeah. So he's saying like you pull your needle back, then you rub it out. I know what he's saying. Paper towels, and paper plates. Like I don't like the paper plate thing, but I mean like I guess it's your mileage may vary. You know, some people like paper plates as a palette.
It's just for a makeshift quick something. It won't be like a wet palette where it will help you to retain the longevity of your paint. But if you're going for that method, what I used to do was I just wrap a piece of cardboard or a board of any kind, or sometimes I wouldn't do that at all. I would just use aluminum foil as my palette instead. So I'll just put it on. So once you're done, you just crush it up and throw it away. Or another way I used to do is cellophane tape, the clear kind. Just put like big strips, and then or masking tape. I used to do that for my art exams when I was in school, because I wouldn't have a lot of space on my desk. We had square tables. So that's what I did to save space on my table. I would just put strips of masking tape on my table and use that as my palette. And then once I'm done, I just peel off the palette and throw it away.
So yeah, I think it's very much like what I was saying before. It depends on the person. Like take a look at the items around you and whether they might be helpful to you. Just have a rethink on it. Skylar Simmons says paper towels, plastic cups, popsicle sticks,
makeup brush. Yep.
Yeah, like there's nothing there I disagree with. Like I've got the shot glass ones. I've got popsicle sticks, but they're more near the printer than near my other one. But yeah. And then Joseph says
toothbrush for cleaning models, kitchen towel for wiping the excess of a dry brush, milk bottle tops and jar lids used as hobby holders, paper clips as pins, and to clear paint pot nozzles. I also make armatures from them, and bottle tops to hold sub-assemblies, an old yogurt pot as a dirty water cup, a washed sock with a hole in it as a paint rag. There's always things that need cleaning quickly, and being able to put my hand inside it is sometimes useful. Plastic waterproof tablecloths to protect my painting space, an oven tray lined with newspaper to contain my current project while I work on it, lots of other trays, never enough trays, makeup brushes for dry brushing, ultrasonic jewelry bath for cleaning my airbrush. Yep. A cheap doormat rug under me so I don't spill paint on my carpet. Yep. Fair enough. High quality tweezers for picking tiny hairs, etc. off the models.
Yeah.
The cat died many years ago, and yet still there's always little cat hairs stuck to my minis.
Yeah.
Cardboard boxes cut up and used as airbrush stations. I have 4 and sometimes need them all at once for large multi-model projects. Hairdryer for speed drying paint. Computer for inspiration and mid-painting entertainment. Detergent lids can be trimmed and repainted to make plinths.
For busts.
But
yeah, I think very much by what Joseph said there, right? How it is how it works is like he's just like, these are the items that I've started to find useful for me over time. And I think that's very much what everyone said here, right? Like, I've got this thing and it's useful for me, and like I've used it in my life and now it's useful, sort of thing. All right, but I thought that was interesting, and I liked seeing what you guys are doing. So,
Calvinoni, a nice zombie.
And I think that the paint job here is really nice. I like that sort of yellow dead flesh, but I feel like unfortunately, it's all too uniform. Like the pants could have been a different color, and the base is too similar in colors to
the rest of the model.
Yeah, and like the thing is, right? That's some really nice basing, right? I like the basing.
It could use a bit of character storytelling there. Like the last time we said this with another one of your zombie teams, that they could use some gravestones here and there to bring some element of interest to the piece.
We'll see. Like, I don't mind this because it's like it's got some different colored gravel in it. You don't need that much to tell a story, but I really do feel like with the pants being a very similar color and the gravel being a very similar color, it's a bit too uniform.
Yeah.
And this is a very sort of interesting sculpt, so like, why not give it the extra time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the painting, just the color choice.
Yeah, it just maybe needs a little something, a saturated color maybe of some kind.
Pants different color and ground different color. Alright, let us move on. This is my stuff.
It's you, honey.
Alright, and you want to give critiques to my stuff. So what would you like to say?
I think this one was done very nicely, especially the bases. You tried to show some, weight to them by sinking them into the ground a bit more and all that sort of stuff. The original coloration of this model looked pretty much all black from the client's one.
Oh yeah, so it was just green and black. Like the spear was black,
everything looked black. Even the green was so dark it looks black.
Yeah.
But he's decided to give it some, visual interest and made a more saturated green look, which I think you did well on that.
Yeah, well, I did talk to the client about it, and like we had a little joke about it when we met up. Where like, when you're writing down your character, like you get really into it and you get really tense. You're like, yeah, he's gonna be like Batman, but better than Batman.
Cooler than Batman.
He's gonna have a black cloak. And he's gonna have black armor.
Just black.
And then he's gonna have black eyes. Alright, Midjourney, show me what you've got. And it's just black.
Black square.
And you're like, that makes sense. But yeah, no, so I'm glad that, he gave me the freedom to branch out a bit. But yeah, I'm happy about the basing too, but I don't think that's the best basing.
I guess this one looks pretty good with that.
Yeah, I think it's either this one or the Wizards one. What did you think of this guy?
I think the skin colors come out really nice, but like I said, of all the models, he's the least interesting. I think because there's a lot of grays going on in this piece. I feel that maybe the loincloth in the middle could have been the eye-catching piece, only because, if I could borrow the mouse, the way that it's structured is you've got that triangle attention of the eye. So you've decided to make this two pop, which is great. But the next place the eye would be drawn to is here.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could have been worked on a bit more. You could make it white if you wanted to still go with the theme, or like a blue tinted white maybe. Something different.
Or like a cream.
Yeah, so just to bring the attention, close the circle a bit, I think.
Yeah. But once again, it's what the client wants, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to work with what the client wants. But this one, I think I had the most fun painting with.
Yeah, you like the Inuit warrior.
Yeah. Because, like, he's very much, he is what he is. And, like, we've got a million different shots of him. But I think this is where I liked my basing the most.
Yeah, it looks good.
Where it, like, very much blended in.
Yeah. And I think you decided not to do the OSL effect on this one because the client didn't want an OSL effect. But I think the fire came out really nice.
There's some slight OSL with the like it's slightly lighter, but not like a huge amount.
I do really love the way you've done the staff. Like the metallics have really pop on that wood. It's quite nice.
But I feel like maybe I could have put a lot more depth into it.
I think maybe on the beard rather than the outfit. I think the outfit turned out really well.
Okay.
But maybe the beard. Because it really looks like the beard's blending into his cloak sort of thing.
Yeah, I follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oh. Someone decided to make a big farty.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. But yeah, like, I feel like when I can see, like, all of the base here, I'm really happy with this basing. The way that the sort of frost creeps up and that sort of thing, I think it came through really well.
I would say, like, once I see all the bases together, the Inuit Warriors base seems the most out of place because the Dragonborn guy is blank snow, and then you've got rock,
Well,
and then grass.
So if you are on the back of this guy's base, and unless we go to the Discord, because I don't know which chat I've got up at the moment, unless we go to the Discord, should we just go there and we'll just pause for a second?
You can just go. I'll blur out whatever.
Okay.
Yep. Let me scroll all the way down.
Okay.
All the way down.
But yeah, like if you see on the back of this guy's base, I think it is.
Oh yeah, I see the grass on the dwarf.
So like they're all a bit more like they've got a bit more to them. So I don't think we've got a shot from behind, but yeah, I think we see, yes, so he's got some grass on there. So sort of give that idea that, you know, they're sort of there together and he's up in just the straight snow and this guy's like, and it gives them a different, like this guy seems way more connected to the natural world. So I tried to give them those sort of connections. But I think this is more than enough talk about our stuff. Let's move on to other people. So we've got
Carrie Hughes, and she's got finished. She's doing an Age of Sigma tournament piece, getting those models ready for that in September. And then she also has her Frost Giant, which is made some progress on that as well. Let's take a look.
All right, let's do it. So the Frost Giant is noticeable progress, blah, blah, blah. I'm just seeing. Need to finish 78
models before then, over half of which I have already started over the course of the last year. Pick up the army. Yeah, that's a lot of models.
Okay, so I think this is all of them.
That's not 78.
I bet you if we counted it out, it'd be pretty close. All right, let's take a look.
Oh no! It's a tiny. This one's big.
Why is it big on one side and tiny on the other?
I don't know.
So I think this guy needs some more shading.
Yeah, I think she's gonna get to it because right now it's just a whip.
Because it looks like his skin's nice and shaded, but like his actual clothing doesn't have any shade.
Could use more like highlight and shade.
Hey, there we go. Because like I was looking at this one and I'm like, ain't no close up gonna help that. But yeah, so it looks like I'd say that the clothing needs a bit of work, but other than that, I'd say that everything looks good. I like the skulls. I love the skin work that she's done with it. You know, where she's done those little, what would you call them, striations? Or strikes along it. And I
think she's gonna put a bit more effort into the trunk there as well, and the arrows.
Yeah, maybe with like the under area, I'm not sure, but I think she might be going for a specific look. But I think the tree trunk definitely could have some work, but the clothes and the tree trunk need a bit of work, in my opinion.
But he's looking really good so far.
Yeah. So I think this is the one that that she wanted commentary on. So I think the hair looks great. I think the skin looks great. I love the white furs. I'm not as sold on this leather here with those strikes. What I reckon you could do is do a few more of them and put a contrast paint over it, like a thin contrast paint, and then those will sort of blend in and they'll be more lighter strikes.
Like scuff marks on your
Yeah. I feel like the clothes and the tree need work, but other than that, I think he's absolutely fantastic. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he looks really good.
So, it's very funny because like usually we have a lot more to say, but we agree on pretty much everything. That he's just looking really good.
Looks like a Marvel figurine character.
Yeah, I guess. Yes, maybe.
Like that, yeah. Oh, what's this?
Okay, so this was Tyrone, and he's
trying out a beach water base.
Okay, so I really feel like I can help a lot on this one because I did those beach bases before. So I'm going to go here and go to these ones here. Will they pop up?
They will. They'll just take a little while to load.
Well, then we'll go back to this while we're waiting for that to load. So I feel like all of this is done very nicely, but it's not a beach scene. What this feels like is sort of
like
a Mediterranean area meeting the water.
The delta.
No, not the delta. No.
Yeah, that's what you're describing. A Mediterranean area meeting the water is the delta.
Like Greek. And it's not the delta. It's meeting a Mediterranean area meeting the sea.
I thought it looked more like a creek. Like when you're in the forest and you're reaching the bank of a river. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's way more, those Greek cliffs.
Yeah.
When those Greek cliffs get to the sea, that's what I feel like it looks like. But if you want beach,
the top ones, the above ones show better.
Yeah, okay.
Below, there it is. The shark.
The shark?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to open this guy up so I can show you, because we ignore the shark. Now, I was talking to another person about this, but when it comes down to beaches and that sort of thing, you are not going for realism, right? Think about how a base is, right? Like, I was standing there with one of the members on the beach, right? And I said, imagine we are a model and put out a sort of 25 mil radius. And so that'd be about 2 meters out from us. And it would just be grass, right? And that wouldn't indicate that we're at the beach at all.
Right, exactly,
right?
Yep.
So what we are trying to do is verisimilitude, the feeling of reality, not reality itself, right? And the reason why this sort of gives off that beach vibe, right? Now, maybe this doesn't at all because you've got that. But what you've got is you've got the water there. And it's some nice water. So all that is just essentially an aqua paint, just swirled together, right? To give some color. Then it's just sand. Literally just sand. And then the back of your area. You don't even have to do the back of this area sort of thing. Just sand. And then I think it's an AK Interactive.
Yeah, a water gel.
Yeah, AK Interactive's water gel. Just put it on. Just blow it over.
With the airbrush to create some waves.
I didn't blow it over with an airbrush because that's too powerful. So I just with my mouth, just. Oh no, I'm not gonna say just blow it.
Oh come on.
But yeah, and like that will give you that nice effect. And see, just purely having that water gel over the top of it will give it that effect like it's coming up on a beach. You don't have to do anything at all. But like the reason why I wanted to talk about that is with this, I feel like you've really you really hit it out of the park here, and then like you really fell apart here.
Well, it looks like you're at the top of the cliff's edge looking down at the ocean. That's how the texture of the water looks like at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's just, I feel like the water doesn't look right.
I think it's maybe the color. Once he changes the color to a proper sort of dark blue with aquas.
Maybe.
Because that is not the color of the water now.
That's like pool water sort of thing.
Not even pool water, it's ultramarine mixed with white.
But I think like this here, just perfect.
Very nice, yeah.
And like that's the big thing. Focus on where you've gotten that success, and then try out some new things. All right, let's move on. So next up, we've got Joe Sutton, and that means that we're on a
new
magical adventure.
So I've made a good start for the 4th Horus Heresy Orc army. He's not finished at all, but here's an update. Also, I painted and color matched a turret for a passion project I'm doing. 20 years ago, me wanted Talon Desert Raiders Imperial Guard army.
Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so he's got a whole lot of bones models, which seem to be fire giants. And then he's going to be mixing these fire giants with that Orc Dreadnought kit.
Ooh.
A whole bag of bits. He's made another new thingy. It's a new thingy.
It's a saw claw.
And so it looks like what he's trying to do is figure out what he's putting together.
Lots of sprues.
Lots of sprues.
Ooh.
Well, we've seen this one before, but
maybe he's making another one.
No, he's trying to figure out how he's going to have him holding it, sort of thing.
So it's an axe with drill bits.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's orky. We've seen that one. Hey! That looks really good. I really like that that damage there, because it's particularly desert damage, you know, rather than anything else. Like, you see how it's worn away at those particular areas?
Yeah.
That looks really good.
It's very nice.
What's the
Desert
C
tank.
for, though?
It's copyrighted, honey.
It's copyrighted.
Don't ask questions.
I like the little pig symbol, though.
It's a boar.
It's a pig. Pigs are boar. Boars are pigs.
It's a boar.
But yeah, I think it's looking really
very
nice.
Yes.
And the adventure continues. So it looks like he kept the arms.
Some sort of body is forming.
Yes. Things are...
Oh, there's an orc head now.
Yes, things slowly coming together.
Yes, he's got...
Oh, he's got a chainmail skirt. And it looks like he's got... I've forgotten what that quilting armor is called.
Yeah, I forget. We'll call it padding.
I think it is just called padding.
And then...
Then...
Some sort of... Yes, spiky sleeve. Correct. And... no more story.
Yes, we follow along for story. Now it's all gone. Joe, we're disappointed. We wanted to see more story. But yeah, the tank looked absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing I could say against that tank. The only negative that I could give the tank is it didn't look very 40k. It almost looked like
one of those historical army factions.
Yeah, like it looked...
It looked too real, Joe.
Yes.
Stop it.
All
you
right.
need to make it 40k, okay?
Alright, and next up we've got Andy
Dickinson.
Long time no see. Well, it's not that long, but long enough.
Yes, he has something to say about Sir Yeats-a-Lot. I did do some work on Sir Yeats-a-Lot, mostly the back and sword, but I forgot to grab a picture and I'm currently away from my painting desk. So some holiday hobbying. Working on the models from Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. The aim for these is to have a tabletop standard paint job.
Thank you, Andy, for actually listening to what we say.
Paint job, so they look a bit more interesting when playing the game. Redguard is still a whip. Hatchet is done for what I'm aiming for, and I haven't started the other two yet. I might even get a chance to actually play the game, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Alright, let's take a look. Alright. But yes, it is nice that somebody listens when we're like, what are you aiming for?
People listen.
They're just like, here's my pictures. And we're like, yes, but what's your goal? Picture. Look at the picture. So I think this is the Red Guard guy. I'm going to go through them before.
Like the cloak?
Yeah, so I think this guy is the work in progress because I don't think that he's a Red Guard, just judging by the yellow cloak. So when I come to this guy, the only downside I'd really say with him is like he is tabletop, but I feel like he's a bit flat. You could give him just a wash, just to make him pop that little bit more. Just some soft tone or some null oil in some of those areas, just to make him pop. And like, we know you're going for tabletop, but we also know that you've got a certain level of standard that you want to commit to. But I feel like the cloak is really, really nice.
Really like the cloak.
And I think like that's one of the things that Andy likes to do. He likes to do up fabrics, and I think that looks very, very nice.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that I've got to say on this guy is just he needs some sort of base because I feel like
he hasn't gotten to that part yet.
Yes, I know, but I'm just saying like he feels very unfinished without the base, even though the model itself is finished.
Yeah.
I feel like you could call this guy here if you're going for tabletop with this guy. I feel like he could be finished here with this guy.
I feel the base could.
Well, like you've got texture. I mean, like all you'd really have to do is add a tuft or a rock to the base, and I feel like if you're going for tabletop, like this guy, yeah, he's a little grungy, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think just having him as a grungy dude, I think is fine. But yeah, let's go back because he said Red Guard hatchet is done. Yeah, I think that's the hatchet. So Red Guard is still a whip. Okay, yeah. So that I'd say that our feedback matches then. Like the Red Guard feels like a whip, whereas the hatchet feels done. I'd just add a tuft or a rock to his base, and then I feel like he's done because it doesn't have that third element. With the gravel having a texture to itself, it's got some of that there, but without it, it just feels a bit, like Sonny was said, a bit plain. Alright, so next up, we've got Calvinoni. And let's take a look at what Cal's done. That is not Cal. Here is Cal. Alright, so these green stuff?
No, I think it's just green contrast over it.
I'm not sure.
Like speed paint. See, he's got ox skin there. Pretty sure he's used one of those all over him.
I see. Unfortunately, we can't see a lot here, but I do have to say the color choices are classic. Blue and orange.
Yeah, it's a classic contrasting colors.
But that shield is coming up real nice,
yeah, the wood is looking good.
Yes, but we will move on because unfortunately we can't see a lot, can we? Alright. So, we also talked about tips Thursday, and some people gave their tips for this. So we're just going to go into this for a second. And so, so Joe was saying, oh no. Sorry, I was thinking about somebody below. You want to read out?
So I love basing. Making fully custom bases for an army is the best. I've been using mostly milliput and cork. Just remember that dirt or sand doesn't need to be all over the bases.
Yep.
Just look at nature for inspiration or just the world around us.
Yep, I'd say 100%. You're not wrong on that. But I felt that Alan had, like, this is the most important point. Start from big and then move to small. Bigger than smaller, and that's the way to go. So Peter responded to this, the other post, when he was talking about waterscape bases, right? And he showed off this one, and essentially what he's done is he's covered the rim, and then what he's done is he's poured in resin, and that's what we were talking about earlier. And doing that really makes things great. But we're just going to pause for a quick second, and then we'll be right back, folks. And we're back. So this is our very final one, and he was having some trouble getting back into the painting mode, and he was asking to rate his muzzle burn, and I think that it's looking...
It doesn't have that bright purple at the very tip where the muzzle burns usually.
And I think that
there you go.
Peter was showing off how you do it, and so like I feel like this feels much more like soot. So what I would try and do, right, is maybe instead of going for washes, go for actual paints. Go for paints thinned into like glazes, that sort of thing. And you can go to brushstrokes on how to thin and such. But essentially with that, like I feel like, you're getting it out there, but sounds like I think that you're getting it done. Like there's nothing wrong with the rest of the guy. Just try and focus on getting the one thing right. And I think you'll find that once you start putting those pieces together, right, that is when you'll feel more confidence in your painting. Like, mastery in one thing leads to mastery in all things. And that's essentially it. But I think that what Peter said here is spot on. And I'm really glad that we have the sort of community where
we're all helping each other out, giving tips.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us this week. And we're really glad to have the community that we do.
Yeah.
And we hope that you bring more of your friends along and more of their friends, because we hope that this is a service that is helpful for you. And I'm just going to ignore that. Because it just didn't work.
Yeah. We'll get back to that later.
Yeah. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. And we all hope you have a fantastic weekend.
WAYPN weekend.
Yes. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now you forgot to say.
All right.
Yes.
Keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.